Our party of idyllic islanders continues to search for a solution to safely contain the Horn of Rust they discovered. Following one lead took them from their home on Chakakoth Isle to Magnamar on the mainland, and from there, leveraging a new connection with the Pathfinder Society, they have been led far to the east to distant Iobara. Here they are seeking the expertise of Ayando Klein, a Pathfinder Society expert on the sealing and destruction of malicious artifacts. However, when they arrived, through an unstable, extra-dimensional maze, they found the Pathfinder base camp in an uproar. When they were escorted to Ayando, they heard that his newly arrived superior, who was to take operational command, had been abducted by a demonic spirit. Now, the archaeological expedition has transitioned from a careful and methodical research team to an urgent race to identify who is behind the abduction and how to rescue their leader. As a result, Iando has not been freed to complete his research on a sealing chest that could potentially solve the party's problems. The party was asked, since they have recent experience with the plots of demon cultists, to help with the investigation, and they agreed. They were dispatched to help a pair of junior, non-combat agents clear a basement of threats. The basement led deeper than any expected. They found a troll hound in magical suspended animation, numerous cyclopean undead, and a multitude of rune-inscribed stone fingers. After solving a puzzle involving the fingers, they found themselves in what appears to be a final chamber of this complex, with a troll lashed with roots to a stone throne, with a glowing red gem embedded in his forehead.
That looks weird. I guess I'd try to figure out what this troll thing is, maybe what that gem is.
So you're staring at the gem, and you hear a voice in your head. Welcome, visitors. What brings you to my home?
Oh, hi. I'd say out loud, and then I guess I'll try saying it in my head. Hey, are any of you hearing this too?
Everyone is hearing
All of us hear it?
Yes. And Daegron just got an extra hero point from the audience.
I heard something in my head. Is it that creature there, Dezi? And he points his axe towards the troll.
I mean, I can't see anybody else it would be. I'm Dezi. I'm sorry. My name's Dezi. Who are you?
I am Anka. At least, that is the name I gave myself. This here is Nazoth. He doesn't speak much.
And who is Nozoth? Sorry, I think you described this last time, but I don't recall.
So you see this troll bound to this stone throne. You do see the rib cage very, very minorly breathing in and out. You see the lips moving as it speaks, but it feels like the lips are moving a split second after the speech.
Oh, okay. So I'm talking to the troll is sorry, Nazoth, was it?
Nazoth
Anka.
is the body here. I am Anka.
Well, nice to meet you, Anka. And these fingers over here, Desi will step to the side and try to see if the fingers are reachable. Say, are these yours or somebody?
No, I never had fingers. And Nazoth here still has all of his, as you can clearly see.
Desi will see if they can fish out the fingers. They find them very interesting.
They seem like they're locked in place as long as the door is open.
Oh, well.
I'm sure we can get him on the way out, Dezi.
Yeah, fair. I don't... Well, it's nice to meet you, Anka, was it?
Yes, Anka.
Yes.
It's a good name, right?
Yeah, I think so. Where do you come from?
I don't know. I have always been here. Or I've only been here. I think they are the same.
By here, do you mean attached to this troll in this room?
Yes, I awoke here in this room.
Wait, are we not mentally talking to the troll?
No,
Sorry,
talking
to Anka?
Oh,
Sorry.
yes. I'm sorry if it was unclear. I ride on the troll, it appears. I used to be able to talk to him, but he faded away a long time ago.
Oh.
And do you defend this place?
I have no power.
Oh. Well, we had somebody go missing from our friends who are above ground. There's people above the ground now. I don't know how long it's been since anybody's been here.
No one has been here since I became aware.
And how long ago was that? Do you know?
No. Maybe if you
Long
knew...
enough for a troll to expire.
If you knew the year in cyclopean accounting, maybe I would know the delta. But I have had no way to mark the passage of time.
Daegron Delta means the difference.
Oh?
I'm sorry. Do you mind if we come in? I didn't want to
Please,
intrude. This
please.
looks like your room.
Please do. Who
Dezi
who
will-
are the four of you? Why are you here? You said someone went missing.
Oh, yeah. We have somebody above ground, and I think it was their leader went missing, maybe taken. We're not entirely sure, but either way, we were exploring down here to try to figure out a little more of what happened.
Well, this place... I can maybe tell you about this place, at least what Nazoth knew before he died. But I would like some help.
Oh, what do you need help with?
I would like to leave this place. The outside always sounded so interesting, but I have never seen it.
Oh, what would you do if you got out?
Experience, look around, talk to more than just my memories.
Well, I'm kind of curious. Don't mind me interjecting. How did you end up attached to this Nazoth here? Doesn't seem like he can move anymore.
Oh, he can't move anymore. I believe he is still alive. Trolls are remarkable beings, servants, after all. But I was not self-aware when I was embedded into Nazoth here.
Sorry, I wanted to roll a sense motive. I think I live
with that perception check, you can tell you think it's telling the truth. It doesn't mean it might be holding something back.
I mean, particularly about what it wanted to do when it got out. If like this thing's been trapped here for years and years and we're going to unleash some big malevolence upon the world, that would be bad.
You're pretty sure it would probably not have any real moral compass. It came into being with only a troll to talk to for likely centuries, if not longer. And you know it's been down here for millennia. So you don't know what portion of the time when it gained consciousness and when the troll expired, and it won't be able to give you a time frame. But it seems like it has, no other person it's interacted with. So its sensibilities are probably somewhat based on ancient civilization trolls, whatever that means.
So we know some people outside, and they've seen a lot of the world. I'm sure if you talk to them for a while, they'd be able to help and guide you around, because it's been a while since you've been out.
That would be great.
I'm just curious. Do you know anything more about this complex? We're, like Dezi said, we're here looking for some friends that seem to have lost their way. I don't know if there's any more dangers down here you may know of, or where they could have got to, but we haven't seen them so far.
Sorry, as the GM, I'm asking, who are you looking for?
Specifically the ones that they had go missing from the camp, wasn't it?
Okay, yes. No, no one else has reached here in however long the time has been. And my understanding from conversations with Nazoth is that this was the final room of the complex. It is always possible they've carved more rooms out after Nazoth was entombed here, but I am not aware. As to what this place is, it does seem like a token of information in fair dealing to help ease your worries. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. However, as far as I was aware, this was a temple to Urkshul, Lord of the Storms, the Troll Father. Though, you won't see much of his worship here anymore, I think.
I can't even say I've heard of him. Dezi, do you know who that is?
You have probably heard of Urkshul. Urkshul is a demon lord. As I said, the Lord of Storms in the Troll Father, and now you would recognize the symbol of the lightning-struck storm clouds that was on the mosaic outside this room is often associated with Urkshul. But Urkshul is, while a demon lord, one of the minor ones, not one that you hear about all that often, not one that seems to be, one of the movers and shakers causing problems.
Desi will share that information out loud, kind of like, oh yeah, I think he was a demon lord and not the best of guys.
And there's the spelling I'm putting in for you, just because, of course, demon lords have names that are impossible to,
of course,
sound out.
So, Dezi,
Yes.
the last time we were in a big underground complex like this and happened to run across something demon-like, and we took something out of that complex, it kind of became a problem for us.
True. But, I mean, we're talking to this thing, and that's a little different. Sorry, this entity, I guess. Sorry to call you a thing. I'm not used to talking to crystals.
I'm not used to talking to other people. No offense was taken.
I'm just saying, whatever
That's
you're
true.
planning on doing next, do it cautiously.
Agreed. I mean, I think if they say they are willing to work with the Pathfinders outside, maybe they could help guide. I'll do one more sense motive just to try to get a better feel for this thing. I don't know why it keeps doing it in public.
That's
versus...
fine. Yeah, it's... In some ways, this is an object that is beyond your understanding. It is a consciousness embedded in a gem. It seems to have telepathy. You have seen no evidence of any other power from it. It doesn't seem to be able to really interact with the world. It does not have telekinetics, spellcasting. It's a consciousness in a gem. And
Okay.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, it seems smart, and I mean, not by their nature particularly malevolent. But I don't know a lot. This is something I've never seen before.
You would suspect it is likely to be selfish and opportunistic. It probably has a weak connection with telling the truth. But you don't think it's lying right now.
Okay. What do you all think? I mean, they did want us to clear out this area, and I mean, I don't want to keep them with me, but if we can maybe introduce them to the Pathfinder Society, then we can not be carrying around, multiple dangerous things.
It's necessarily our call to kill a conscious creature down here that is speaking to us. Doesn't seem to be of any sort of aggressive nature. Seems alien and strange to me for sure, but at the very least, maybe we just notify those in charge of the camp here that
Yeah, that
of
might be
who
a
is
good
here.
idea. Maybe we should. Do you mind? We can tell our friends that you're here and have them come down and possibly get you out too.
I would really like to leave soon. I feel something gathering.
Oh, what do you feel gathering?
A consciousness through the forest, through the roots. He's aware you're here.
He?
Uh-oh.
Who is this he that's aware of us?
Urkshel.
And this thing's tied into all the roots around it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Daegron, maybe we should get sense motive on that.
Go ahead and
I don't
give
know
me a
what's
roll.
Curious.
public
I think
rolling.
Daegron's curious
Hopefully
there
this one
too.
comes
Is
out
this,
private. I'd like this one to be private if it works.
Yeah, I'm gonna do private here. He's curious if this
Oh,
sense
okay, I see what
of
happened.
urgency now is because that we're leaving and it feels like maybe it doesn't have a chance, or if this is truly a warning.
So, Daegron, you have no idea. But Dezi, you think he is panicked at the idea of being left down here longer. Whether it's coincidentally happenstance that he's saying, or that it's saying that there's a presence coming or not, you're not sure. Give me, let's say, a religion check. Now that your attention was brought to it, yes, you do feel there is a presence here, an unholy attention that was not here before.
Listen, you all, I kind of believe them. I think we should get them out because the last thing I want is whatever is coming. I think I feel it. Getting into them.
I'll take them along then. We'll go see the leaders of the camp. We won't. This won't be our burden, but I don't want to leave this here to possibly strike up at the camp without our knowing.
So are you walking over to the troll?
We'll take you out. Yeah, I think so.
So you walk over to the troll. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Vanarel.
I was just saying that I trust Dezi more than either of the two things I think we're talking to in the chair right now, so I'm in.
Yep. Daegron, this is out of his element. He trusts what the more studious ones know here.
So Daegron, I guess it sounds like, is going to try to pry the gem off of the forehead.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and
Dezi
you reach
wants
out
me to. He does.
It takes barely any strength, and it kind of pops out with a little bit of a squish sound. And you hear a sigh in relief from Amka, and you do see the troll stop breathing that it was attached to. However, maybe not unexpectedly, you feel an earthquake begin shaking the place. And through the sounds and vibrations, you hear the word treachery. And you are now racing out of this place. As you can see, the whole building is shaking and falling. To get out of this first room, you see the tree roots stretching down from above, trying to grab you and keep you here. How will you get out of here? And if you want to grab the fingers on the way out, you can now, but it will make this check harder.
Daegron will go as he'll charge forward in front of the group, and with his next blur, he'll start trying to hack the vines back as they start growing, to give everyone else more time to get out of here.
Sure. Give me an attack roll.
Okay, so plus 13 on this is a 21.
21. That will be partial success, so you're kind of leading the way through.
Dezi will try to grab the fingers. I think they're going to try to find a path via survival, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like between the tree roots.
That is going to just make it. So you've recovered the fingers, and you've made it partway through the door. Vanarel or Libby, how are you navigating the flailing roots?
I think Libby is just going to use her elf quickness to just nimbly dodge through them.
Sure.
So I think that feels most like a reflex check.
I would take
Me?
that. Acrobatics would also fit if that's any better for you, but reflex sounds fine.
Yeah, acrobatics is not better for me.
That
Me.
also
You
makes
can
it.
never roll that well, can you?
And then Vanarel.
All right. Well, now that everyone's on their way out, yeah, Vanarel is going to take up the rear here and just try to, I guess, like dodge and roll underneath the vines as they reach down, trying to grab them. I am going to give this a shot with some acrobatics. Okay.
That is a failure, but not a crit failure. So, at the end of the first round, 3 of you have made it out of this room. Vanarel is still midway through the room. And behind you, Vanarel, you've seen this room here. This has caved in. This room is gone. This is round 2. We can go in any order. You need one more success. It does not need to be Vanarel's to get out, but one more person needs to navigate the routes to allow Vanarel to get out, or Vanarel does it themselves, and then we'll be on to the next room. Who would like to act first?
I think
Daegron, you want
Daegron
to
would.
chop? Yeah.
Yeah, because he's already was staying at the threshold to kind of keep it open while people went through. So he's going to keep hacking away to try to get
We'll leave you
enough
back
room
there
for
that,
Vanarel to
kind
get
of
through.
Thematically.
Yeah, we rolled that one already.
Okay.
Only slightly better, but a 17.
Slightly better. Let me double check.
I lower the DC by attacking the roots with a spell.
You can. That would be your action for this round, though.
I will drop a force barrage on it.
Sure. That would be a guaranteed success at that point. So we're moving you to
Nice.
the next map. Let me get that one ready.
I'll expend that spell then.
You're basically running back through all the rooms you came through. So you're back in the room that had all the undead, and all the undead are basically back, but not put together too well. You see like a leg on a hip kind of hopping around the room. You see clawed hands running around the floor trying to grab you. You see a rib cage acting almost like a centipede rippling up towards you. You know, they are not well assembled. You did bash everything, and those that are here have not been put back together properly, but the undead are swarming you. 2 of you have yet to act this round, and you can act.
Dezi's gonna clear a path by casting Inner Radiance Torrent in a direct line in front of them so they can go through this room.
That's a 2-action spell usually, right? Sorry, 2 round. Are you doing it the 3-action version?
2. I mean, I can do 3 actions or the 2-action, depending on how long we need. So 60 feet versus 120 feet. And it does, what is it? Damage to everything in that line. So yeah, I'll do 3 actions. I have a full round.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much I need to move, but it should clear a path.
You've done that. You've cleared a good path. However, that also meant you were not moving. So whoever has not gone, who I believe is Vanarel.
Right. Well,
how can you help here? It does feel like Dezi has blasted away forward, but Dezi is maybe swaying on his feet a little and, you know, stumbling from that exertion.
Throw me, Vanarel!
I will grab Dezi by the back of the collar, and I'm just going to attempt to barrel my way through the rest of these partial skeletons before they get a chance to fully assemble and become an issue for us again. I was thinking just put my shoulder into it with an athletics.
Okay.
$16.
You get about halfway through the room with Dezi. and the other two were keeping pace. You're about halfway through this room. You can tell the roofs are caving in behind you as you run. You're barely staying ahead of it. It feels like you're about the same distance ahead as you were before. Starting round 3, the undead are now swarming in from the north and south. Way to the west is still clear. What are you doing?
I mean, west is the way to go up, right? So I think we
Yes.
want to get out of here. Let's
Yep.
book it to the west.
Oh yeah.
Daegron will lead the way and just shoulder and weapon in front and just try to, if there is any smaller constructs or anything starting to get in the way, he will shoulder charge through.
Give me
Maybe
your
with
athletics for that.
here.
Yeah. That will
There
be
we
a
go.
critical
30.
success. That is enough to get you through this room. So we are
Is-
now back to the branching path room.
Okay.
Which way would you like to go? The library or the alchemy lab?
I feel like maybe Libby and I could deal with the alchemy lab, given some of our crafting abilities.
It was kind of a mess when I left last time. I don't know if that is better or worse.
I think if we were to pick a direction, the corpse was in the library. I think if we went down the alchemy lab, it at least has already burned away.
Then he just starts
Right.
because we don't have that much time
Okay,
to talk.
yep.
Yeah. There's an avalanche coming behind us. We should
I heard this side. So ahead of you, what you see now, you see the trimmers have knocked flasks and beakers off their benches. The contents have mixed into a dangerous concoction and fills the room with a caustic mist. How are you navigating? Everyone but Daegron has a chance this round.
Caustic.
So yeah, I mean, I think Dezi's gonna try to figure out the maybe Libby, you're probably better at crafting than I am. Do you want to try to figure out the best way to like avoid breathing this in?
Neither of you push it away.
I use the
Wait, you got Eel Black, right?
activation of the Staff of Air, the air bubble.
Sure. What does it do?
A creature
there.
within range enters an environment where it can't breathe. A bubble of pure air surrounds their head, allowing them to breathe normally. I assume that since I only have 3 charges of this, I can handle 3 people.
Yeah, if you're going to use all 3 charges of that, is it a 2-action spell to cast or a 1-action spell, or is it a reaction?
It is a reaction.
I will say by the reaction and then I'll let you use 2 regular actions as reactions in this chase environment. So yeah, you could drain 3 charges and get 3 people through automatically. No roll needed, 3 successes. And for whatever
Which
reason,
they-
you only need 3 successes for this room. So that will get you through this room safely. You still have 2.
Daegron just holds their breath. They're good at that.
Yep.
You know?
I had my
handled
my handkerchief from earlier that I covered my face with. Daegron brings up the rear with that over his face and just sprints through.
So you sprint through this room.
I mean, if anyone was gonna not worry about it, it would be Daegron.
I figured I would be the best one to leave it off of. So.
And as you reach this hallway, where before you had seen all of these statues with the little kind of ceremonial bowls in front of their faces, all of those bowls have now erupted in a purplish black flame, and sparks and smoke are filling the corridor. It is blazingly hot in here. For the 2 of you who have not gone, I believe that was Vanarel and Dezi. How are you getting the party through this space?
Any ideas, Dezi? I'm thinking I'm just gonna try to get through the in between
You know
the
what?
worst of the flame blasts.
I will, since the elemental ammunition does splash damage, can I use the cold to like just give us an area that's slightly colder so we can make some progress?
Sure.
Like load up a bolt and fire one?
Sure. Roll me an
Okay,
attack
I'll do
roll.
that then.
It has very little effect in this space. It feels the fire is pushing back the cold. Whatever this
I'll use I'll use a hero point on that, I
Okay.
guess.
It's the
Lace eye.
same as that. Yep. So no progress here. Vanarel.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can time my way through the worst of these flame blasts. Just to, I mean, I if they're not a constant gout of flame the whole time, just try to jump in between the empty spaces, timing it with a reflex save.
Okay. Yeah.
See how this goes.
You have
27.
leapt your way through this area. Just for yourself. You weren't able to get anyone else through at the same time as you were doing that. We're beginning the next round. You have heard now the crumbling back of the undead area. You feel you've made up a room on the collapse, so you're doing better now. Who wants to go next in getting through the fire-filled hallway?
Can I do like a 3 for each check to see if I can disable the devices?
Sure.
Theory or crafting, I'm assuming.
Thievery is fine.
Okay. Please.
That will get yourself through. Doesn't really disable him for anyone else, but you managed to find a way through from knowing like how to avoid triggering them, or you could just find the easier gaps than what Vanarel did with his tumbling, but you could tell how to get through, but weren't able to turn him off.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, Dezi, do you have any ideas?
Desi's gonna pull out their water skin and try to douse their clothes in ways that they might to avoid like hot weather, like survival type, to get themselves through the hole.
Sure. I want to hear what... Okay, go ahead. Yep.
So yeah, it's like covering their clothes in water because evaporation causes cooling. So ways you might do that for extremely hot.
Yep. We got 3 out of 4 through.
Yep. And then I think it gets to Daegron, like looks around and he's like, and he half-heartedly douses himself in water and then just puts his shoulder forward and just charges through the flames as fast as he can get out, knowing it's probably going to hurt him, but he doesn't see any clever ways out of this for himself.
You will take some fire damage from that. You're going to take 2 points of fire damage, but you made it through. And I believe we are into the next room, and I believe Vanarel has not acted on the current one. Does that match what people remember?
Yes.
He would have been in the last round, yeah.
Yep.
You're not quite actually on this map. If you remember, there was like 5 to 10 minutes of walking between the last map and this one. And on that long hallway, you still hear the rumbling, and the hallway itself is filling with storm clouds. You see lightning just flashing underground between these storm clouds. You feel a malevolent will pressing down on you, trying to stop you in your tracks, almost screaming in your face. And how will you get through this?
Let's see here. Actually, I've got an idea.
Is it Vanarel though?
Vanarel is the only one to act on this round, and then the other 3, and then everyone will get a chance again after that.
All right. Well, it seems like something's trying to shout me down, and there's too many lives on the line for me to even let that sink in at all. I'm just going to try and just like resist / tough through whatever this assault is. It feels like a will save. Does that sound make sense for you?
Yep.
Just head down, grit teeth, worry about it later.
Yes.
Well done.
That gets yourself and someone else through. Who would you be trying to pull along with you?
I mean, my token was just right there next to Libby, so I'll bring her along for the ride.
Okay.
Come on.
It's the start of the next round, and the fact that you two are out does not mean you don't have to help. You can still roll this round, but thematically you've made more progress, and whatever, so if you're choosing to help, you theme it in a way that helps someone else rather than yourself. But any of the four of you can go now.
It's okay. I think Dezi, being a patron of the open roads, and there's a malevolent spirit here trying to block our path, is going to basically utter a prayer to make it through here and find a clear path through this hallway up in front of them. And is religion okay here?
Sure. And that is also a crit. So you managed
Drag Daegron with me.
It's not just finding a path through here, but you're managing to actually suppress that demonic malevolence for just a couple of moments, just enough to make it easy for the party to keep running. And the four of you run, and you run some more, and you come up these stairs, and so you've...
You can see like a dot here.
You should see a small area of 4 meeples around a village, and everything else is dark. Is that what you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
I'll just zoom in on that so it's obvious that it's not much, but it is there. As you climb out of the ruins amid a cloud of dust billowing up into the air, you find Dana and JC run up to you and praise Desna, you made it out. What happened down there? Wait, let me send for Yayando. I'm sure you don't want to go over it multiple times. Do you need any medical attention? And JC goes running off while Dana is still here talking to you.
I think Daegron's got a couple scratches, but he looks pretty okay. How are you feeling, Daegron?
Nothing to hurt on here. Just a couple little, burns out of fire.
But you might want to.
He's mostly full.
You might want to get somebody. Oh, you're getting Yando. That Yando. That should be fine.
And you hear Amka. So this is what the outside looks like. Oh, that's the sun. There's
Interesting,
lots
right?
of
A lot more
people
interesting
here.
than that little room.
Oh, so much more interesting. Oh, and that's what the pine trees look like from above ground, not just their roots. And as it's filling your minds with questions and trite observations of, the grass is green, the bark is brown, types of just almost toddler-esque observations, but you can tell this is mind-bending to it. It's seeing things, maybe even seeing color almost for the first time, because it hasn't had light down there. It has telepathic conversation, but not much vision. Maybe a little bit now that it's outside. But as that's going on, Ayando will show up. Let me get his picture up here. So here's who shows up to talk to you all. He's arriving at a very brisk walk. You can see both worry and excitement in his eyes, but he's also seeming to be very conscious of a need to portray a calm and in-control leader. What was that, Libbiel?
Do we have a moment? Do we have a moment before this guy approaches us?
Sure.
Because I'd like to propose a theory about of Anka to the party. It would appear that this gem is psychically experiencing the world through us. Perhaps what happened to our troll friend down below is that the gem very quickly ran out of curiosities and started plumbing his mind. Perhaps we should make ourselves aware of this possibility.
I mean, we have no idea what happened to. I think embedding it in anybody's forehead is a bad idea, but or embedding them in anybody's forehead.
I think being close to it is probably enough.
I mean, it hasn't stuck onto any one of us. We should warn, or at least tell Yando that we don't know a lot about it.
Yes, I agree. I think the caution is warranted, but I think it's more overwhelmed by everything going on here. Either way, like I said down below, I don't want this to become ours. I think they would be a great resource and knowledge maybe for this Urxel that has apparently risen, but I don't want to carry two artifacts around with us.
And so as you are discussing that, that is when you'll see Aindo arrive. I saw the plume of smoke rise. What happened here?
Yeah, so we were exploring underneath, and we found a whole bunch of holy symbols to the demon lord Urkel that were down there. And then we came upon this troll that had, and where's the gem? This gem embedded in its head. We think it's an intelligent, or they're an intelligent entity. Sorry, really it's a gem, but it's smart. It's weird. But they said that Urkel was after them. So we got them out. They seem to not know a lot about morals, having been with trolls for most of their lives, but they seem fairly naive in the ways of the world. And it's Anke, I believe?
Yes. Hi, I'm Anka. Nice to meet you. Can I go somewhere?
As we said, it's a sentient crystal of sorts, but it sensed this evil before any of us and warned us, and that's partially how we got out of there so quick. They don't seem malevolent.
It seems to be interested in traveling and learning, and seems like maybe you could take care of this. We have a lot of problems of our own we're dealing with, so I think a intelligent crystal is maybe a little bit beyond us.
I can't say this is the outcome I would have hoped for, but it does seem like... What triggered the collapse?
I think it was Urkel coming to get. Maybe it was after this crystal, but the Anka said it was coming through the roots in the forest and through the forest itself and the trees. So we figured leaving them there was not a good idea.
Amka will speak up. Yes, the roots, the trees. Very, very bad. You got me out. I will share what I know. It does... You briefly think you see Aindo, react as if maybe he's being spoken to privately. And Aindo does clear away Dana and JC and some of the other agents who came swarming around to kind of clear a smaller space while this is being discussed. Aindo then says, "Go ahead." And Amka will begin. The Cyclopes who built this facility, they were all worshippers of Urxel. And to my understanding, they were supremely dedicated in their devotion. From the stories I heard and the discussions with beings like Pure Naxoth, I do not believe the Cyclops were controlled in any ways. All of the experiments always were about the Brutoshivi pines and their resin. Something about them seems very important to the Cyclops. But I know that is not the true danger of this region. First, I am connected to the forest here, whether I like it or not. Those trees and those roots, they were planted by the Cyclops as part of a ritual to tear a hole in this place and let Urxel emerge. I do not know
How are
the
they going to do
timescale.
that?
What was that, Dezi?
How are they going to do what? How were the trees going to tear a hole?
Their roots, as they slowly work and siphon energy that they convert into abyssal power and slowly corrupt the land and merge it with the abyss. That energy all flowed through me. Not into me, but around and across me. It felt like it was reaching... It was increasing in intensity in recent years.
So when we took the crystal, it interrupted this ritual of sorts, or something caused that collapse?
Amka will say, I think the ritual is self-sustaining now without me. I think Urkshal's reaction was more out of the fear of this knowledge being gained than over the loss of me as a tool.
Yeah, I mean, best if no one sees you coming, I suppose. I guess, yeah, that seems bad. Stopping that seems like a good idea.
The what? Burn the forest to the ground? I don't.
We did see that
How do
experiment
we deal
with
with
the...
this?
There was some ash that was... They were experimenting with the ash of the trees burnt down there in the library, remember?
And Amka will say, to its knowledge, the burning of these pines concentrates and refines the abyssal energy faster and more efficiently than just the regular slow process.
Oh, so
then
burning
that's
it
not too
down
bad.
is literally the worst thing we could do. This is why I'm not the magic man.
But that is why the pines were designed to be so flammable.
But you do have a big axe. You could chop them down.
Sure. We're going to log lumber here for the next, I don't know, 10 years?
And
We are standing in the middle of a demon forest.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Eindo looks at the four of you. You have brought me a lot of information, and this is very troubling. We have no leads on our kidnapped leader, but we do know that a demon lord is moving and appears to be more active than we were aware. I think we will need to pause our excavations and prioritize much more targeted efforts in the future. I would like to ask you to accept our hospitality for a couple of days while we decide our next steps. I know you need our help with your item, and I promise you I will make time. But for now, I need to strategize with some of my other agents about what we should do next. If any of you wish to be present for a portion of our councils, please let me know. But I understand this is not your business. Other than it is the fate of Galarian, possibly.
You know, why gotta be like that? It's a big deal. We understand that.
So basically,
mean,
I would at
one
least
more?
like to hear some things on what is going to be done about this.
Yeah, it seems important. I agree.
What's one more demon wanting our heads?
I mean, really, it's just more experience for what we have to deal with, I guess.
and are you handing over Amka to him, or are you holding on to Amka?
I think handing it to him is probably a better idea.
I think holding on to it is a better idea. Sadly.
I don't know we want both of these things in our possessions at the same time.
Is sort of my thinking.
I actually think the demons are probably selfish enough to get in each other's ways. So in fact, I think holding on to it is actually a good idea for us.
Why don't I hold Anka for a day, maybe two? We'll see. I can at least maybe show her the close surrounding area.
Okay. So a couple days are going to pass. Any diseases you had that were not cleared have now been cleared. The society has learned enough to handle those. So I think you cleared them all, or you were suppressing them all as it was, but they're all gone now. That is fine.
Yeah, I was set. I think Dezi maybe had stage 1.
I was listed as enfeebled. I'm not sure if that's part of stage 1, but yeah,
I think
either way,
you were,
I
yeah,
removed it.
Yep. So that's been removed. And you've had 2 days here, which maybe is outside of the 1 day on the boat before the sharks. This has probably been the calmest time you've had since the campaign started. What would, this is not downtime yet, but what would the four of you be doing for an enforced idle day of nothing to do?
Weirdly, I think I'd go and try to study some of the archaeology techniques of the camp around here.
So tagging along with Dana and JC when they're doing, it might be some of the more administrative or some of the more charting and bookkeeping back at camp, given that Indo said he's pulling people back to plan. So there might not be many field efforts right now, but there definitely would be some cataloging and maybe hypothesizing about what different buildings were used for, or the fact that you had these 3 buildings, there should be another one over there probably, and planning for the future. So that's the type of work that they'll be doing right now. Does that suit
Yeah.
what Libbiel would like?
That should be fine.
Okay. So Libbiel is, studying the basics of archaeological excavation planning.
I think Daegron would spend the next couple days. Like he said, he'll show Anka some various sites around the camp. Maybe cooking and dinner and things that maybe seem entirely trivial to him, but he thinks someone who only got secondhand stories from a troll after they'd been sealed in a tomb might find interesting to this. But as a kind of secondary, he's using these two days to see if he can get a better read on them. There's no physical features he can, but he's trying to see with some familiarity if he can find out if there's anything they're not telling him.
Give me
that could be a concern.
Yeah, give me either a perception check, a deception check, a diplomacy check, society.
I get diplomacy.
Almost any of those.
I think diplomacy would probably be best, because I think he is being earnestly friendly about this.
I think you can definitely tell that there is definitely a manipulative side to Amka. The pressuring you to bring him out, maybe a little bit of whining whenever you want to be done for the day to try to needle you on to do a little bit more sightseeing. There's definitely a selfishness and a manipulativeness to him. Not quite to a level yet that would feel evil or what's the right word? Not quite like psychopathic or sociopathic, but you can tell
they've had no moral bastion in their life to dictate right and wrong. It's merely these are the things they'd like, and if doing it this way does it better, then okay.
And they also have no physical needs. They don't need to sleep. They don't need to eat. It's such a different existence that understanding boundaries and is very challenging, and it definitely has a chaotic and an evil touch to it that it's been exposed to forever as well. So you can tell that if it fell into the wrong hands, it probably could be very dangerous. But it seems like as it is now, it is simply a source of knowledge on this region. So it feels like as long as it's in good hands, it's unlikely to be a threat. It's not trying to control you in any way. You've never, other than verbally, like any maybe young kid would be doing, that level of manipulation, which is very juvenile, but not, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's good for him to know. He will kind of make note of this, and when we do get towards the end, he'll discuss with the rest of the party. but I believe he's still in the opinion it should stay with the Pathfinders. But at the very least, he can advise them on what he's kind of discovered during the time he spent with it.
Okay.
Want an insane suggestion?
Hmm.
Teach it the ways of your god.
Of Gorum, it doesn't need to know of Gorum.
Desi's gonna they're gonna have Nat Quick out because they only have Nat Quick out when they're not in danger, and that's been a while. So they're gonna start bonding with their fox a little more. But they're also gonna be. I think they're interested. I mean, especially given their whole wanting to know what's coming up and plan for the journey ahead. Figure out what the camp is trying to do about this threat, and maybe learn a little more about the whatever Iondo has in store for our horn, and what sort of device that is, if he's willing to talk about it.
Okay. I have that scripted, so we'll do that later. And who have we done? Vanarel.
Vanarel is of two minds right now. One is to, if we can't leave the giant demon forest that could go up in flames and fuel an apocalypse at the blink of an eye, then he wants to find the largest clearing to keep away from this and try to find something resembling peace, relaxation. The other thing he might try to do, since this is, he's in the middle of a Pathfinder camp, is go to try to speak with some of the doctors, the physicians, not to get like a checkup or anything. He's feeling all right, but maybe to get their insight, or maybe get pointed in the right direction on learning more about what he is now. He used to know pretty much a lot of stuff about being an elf, having 100 or so years of being one, but now he is Vishkanya, and he would like to try and get some info on that. What they're like, who they are, where they're from, what is inside them that is making him feel so often so different.
So yeah, you'll spend some time talking with the various doctors here. One of them will offer you a small salve of some kind that he says, I don't know if the Vishkanya need this, but our Eruxi friends often find this useful for their scales. You don't seem to have scales everywhere, but if they feel like they are drying out, this might help you. And he hands that over to you. He does seem more puzzled by the, lack of complete scaling. I think you described it as you had some scales here and there, but not everywhere. Was that right?
Yeah, I figure like the last of his new body was kind of like growing in, or
Oh, so
he wasn't quite done.
Is it becoming more scaled as time goes on?
I not to the point where I think it'll be like overly pronounced or a truly defining detail of him, but I think yes, it is like it's of the equivalent of like when baking a loaf of bread, like the crust has to harden up before it's really done. That
Mhm.
sort of thing.
Vanarel's crust.
He's molting.
I am molting. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the salve was meant to help with molting itch primarily. So, the doctors will also, they have less to tell you about like how your body works. They've not seen many Vishkanya, but they do say they have experienced other people who've gone through reincarnation before, and those feelings will pass with time, and you'll become more used to the body. That is not, the weakness will pass. That's not intrinsic to being a Vishkanya now. If that was something that you were worried about, they would be reassuring you about. And they also say, we don't like to suggest this to people. However, you may want to invest in whatever form of disguise kits or becoming good at applying makeup, Vishkanya are poorly understood in many places. The society here is exceptionally accepting of the full range of people who walk this planet and beyond, but some smaller towns may be much less understanding, especially if you get anywhere close to where serpent folk have been active. Small villagers will not be able to tell the difference.
Keep that in mind.
And so the 2 days or so will pass while they're planning. And from Dezi's efforts to try to hear what's happening, I believe you said you're being told that this primary base camp that you're at, which is on the plains outside the forest, is going to be rather more thoroughly developed. They are bringing in more supplies from the outside. They are building more permanent installations, not just the tents. They're getting very extensive magical warding set up. But you also are hearing that they are planning to dispatch a secondary smaller base camp, or two of them it sounds like, deeper into the forest to start scouting locations. And as you were kind of hearing about that, Aindo does show up with an experimental chest to hold your artifact. Here, I've finished this experimental sealing chest. This should suppress the worst of it. Keep it closed and latched. Keep the item itself wrapped in holy symbols. Check on it weekly to make sure the holy symbols haven't been burned through. Perhaps try to be tactical on when and where you open it to check on it, since I suspect the demons could still get a brief fix on your location during those checks. If you notice any problems, please let me know. This is only an experimental design, and this is the strongest thing we've had to test it with. We will be sending some groups out to the surrounding countryside. We've pierced together what you found and what some other teams found, and it suggests there must be a number of focal points that manage this web of energy throughout the trees. I'd like to ask your group to serve as one of these groups. We'll be dispatching these smaller teams to smaller field camps to act as the nexus of the search for the teams, which will be ready in about 2 weeks. Until then, you're welcome to stay here.
I look at the others and whisper quietly. Did we just join the Pathfinders without any of the benefits?
I think we may not get some benefits, Libby, but we don't have to be here. We don't need to be anymore.
I think the official term is independent contractor, but yes, effectively, at least for now.
They don't give us health insurance.
I mean, they did give you a chest that makes your enfeebled go away.
Yeah.
That's kind of health insurance, you know?
In a way, that is health insurance, true.
Hey, Yando, do you have a few holy symbols that we could start with just to get this going?
Also, what's your
Yes.
dental like?
Let's see, what does your smile look like? You can't tell.
The dental is also the chest. Hopefully your
Oh.
teeth don't get messed up by the demons.
Okay, well, I'll stick it in there, of course.
Yeah, I'm assuming the holy symbol that we had in the holy water
basically
is
gone,
probably pretty.
yes.
Yeah. So
He would throw in one for free now. You'll need to buy others in the future.
I can stock up. That's fine. Though I don't love the idea of it eating my god's holy symbols or my deity's holy symbols, but for keeping us safe, it makes sense.
Eating, Dezi, your god is protecting us.
Your god is protecting us, yes. Very important distinction.
Fair. Okay.
He is looking at you like, maybe that was presumptive of me to ask you to be one of our teams. I still value your expertise, and I would like to monitor how stable and secure the sealing chest is before you head off on your own expedition. What would it take to convince you to help us out here?
Oh, standard contractor fees, I think, would apply. But
some
we do appreciate the chest for sure. That does go a long way. And Libby, I think it would be smart for us to stay for a bit. We should keep an eye on that. Make sure it works as we think it does before we traipse somewhere out in the wild where we have no one around to help us.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say we leave. Actually, I would like to take some free training in the things you do around this camp.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes, you're right. We should offer some compensation. I can offer 50 gold each up front. An additional 50 if we, upon completion of the scouting of your assigned region.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah, we're going to need supplies for the journey ahead anyways, so that would certainly help us purchase them.
He will send some scribes over to write up a more contract type agreement, and they will have the 200 gold with them for the 50 gold each for you, so we can add that to your wealth right now. I'll do that. Stash plus 200 gold, and then divvy it out. There you go. And you will level to 6th right now. This is a jump level. We're going from 4 to 6. That was the plan here. And during this 2-week time, that's also, you have 2 weeks worth of downtime to work with. Again, I'd prefer this not to be just earn income, but if this is story-based retraining of any feats you wanted to do, any research you wanted to do, if this is the storytelling for how Libbiel is, if Libbiel is taking the archaeologist dedication, there's 2 weeks right here that really feels thematic for what you've been learning from people to do that, so that you can work that into your story. And as people are working on their level up, if you want to tell me narratively, how the character is growing, what they are learning and doing, or mechanically, what cool new tricks you're excited to have come up, we can hear about either of those.
I've got a pretty simple level ups in terms of what Daegron would be doing. I think narratively, he's been noticing he needs to kind of hit harder and put enemies down before his allies kind of take some of these hits that have been really slowing us down. So he's looking into taking and kind of training during these 2 weeks. I think kind of drilling into himself some more regular actions to make himself more efficient. So he's going to be looking to pick up the sudden charge feat. He's going to retrain out of one of his old ones that he didn't get any use out of, in terms of hitting first and hitting hard before the enemy can get to us. And then for his second feat, he's going to be picking up. He's looking at doing slam down, where he's been tripping and he's been using his free hand to do many different athletic maneuvers. But now he's going to kind of learn how to combine them into actions that will be more accurate and quicker on the draw for him, so that he's able to kind of put out the damage he feels he needs to. And with that, we get some fun little orc ones like Athletic Might, where this training is also becoming much more proficient at climbing and swimming and various just general, I think, training things he's doing around in this forest to keep in shape during these 2 weeks of downtime. And with that, practicing with his axe and picking up the crit specialization at 5.
Very nice.
Yep, I'm happy to go next if you'd like. So Dezi would be... Dezi spent a lot of time amongst the human folk at this point, and he's starting to feel like more of one of them. Andy spent a lot of time talking to people around the camp and everywhere. So in terms of skills and whatnot, I'm going to feel more at home amongst the humans. They're now my adopted society with the halfling 5th level feat. And I'm definitely I'm getting an int bump as well. So I'm going to be taking diplomacy to be trained in that, seeing as I've been talking to everybody anyways. That Quick has also been kind of playing around with Bia and seems to have learned that little healing skill from them a bit. So they seem to be getting better with that. And Dezi's deity has also kind of given them access to additional knowledge. So I'm going to be taking the first level knowledge domain feat to gain basically to be able to roll twice on a recall knowledge check. And also doing some training, they become more perceptive more naturally. So I had taken Canny Acumen Perception, but I think I'm going to retrain that so my reflex saves are a little better at this point, given we've had to dodge a lot of things.
And what have the interactions with Natquit been like now that you
I think
have 2 weeks of relative low stress?
so. Dezi is like slowly figuring out what Natquick likes. And it seems to be Natquick seems to maybe Desi's noticed that Natquick has come to them in a time of change for them when they were maturing and coming into a bit more of a leadership role. I mean, not that they're the leader of the party, but they're far less afraid to speak up for themselves. So Desi thinks that Natquick came at that time for that reason, but they're unsure, and they're just starting to learn kind of how to interact with them more and how to learn spells from them. And basically Libbia's told me that I can feed scrolls to Natquick, and I don't think Desi do that, so just kind of figuring that thing out.
Okay. Libbiel?
Biel's been spending her time with the archaeologists. She's gotten really into the it was always a bit of a curiosity, but now she's really sure that she's very interested in old and forgotten or barely remembered civilizations of the past, and especially since it is seeming to be very useful information for her right now. She's been getting very much kind of these skills that would be really useful to someone who has to interact with the things of the past. So that's what she's been doing. Other than that, Bia has been, of course, with Natquick a lot. And I think they shared the spell with uh, the item facade spell.
Yep,
So
that quick would certainly be willing to do that.
yes, and so now now Bia can cast item facade without me having to, necessarily worry too much about it.
And Vanarel? And you can
Vanarel-
turn off all of those bad things on you now as well.
I
Time to shine.
wait. You just wait.
This is gonna be like
So
a cumulative +6.
Vanarel is having his ultimate training montage moment as he's learning the rest about his new self, both inside and out. What info he was able to get from the society. He is gonna sort of turn that into a bit of a study focus for him for a little bit here. Just learning about what the Vishkanya are, and their rather unique abilities. He's been spending so much time making sure that he doesn't get injured. I mean, with varying degrees of success, and that his friends also don't. That he was surprised to learn about the both healing and harming properties of his own blood. So one of the ancestry feats I took when I was reincarnated, I kind of retook it at first level, was the lesser enhanced venom. Vishkanyas can utilize their blood to quite literally hurt and heal others. Honestly, with Vanarel being a frontliner type who has focused more on medicine, it's kind of he's done both. So he's dug through what books the society has here, and learned that his blood can be applied as a poison if he's already bleeding, of course, or he can cut himself open. But I don't think he's there yet for wanting to do that intentionally. Alternatively, it can also be used to heal if applied properly, which was the other ancestry feat I took, restoring blood. So it might be a little weird and gross for people, but they're gonna have to trust me the way that I had to trust myself when I tried it out in the woods at one of those clearings at one point. Also, with my penalties being removed, and I'm talking like this because I'm clicking them off one at a time. Oh, that feels so much better. Oh, he's also felt himself getting a little bit quicker, even than he was before all of this happened. For his level 6 class feat, he picked up Skirmish Strike, so just helping a little bit more on being more maneuverable on the battlefield, kind of sticking and moving a bit more, getting to where he can help others when things go sideways and violent.
Okay. It sounds like people are more or less fully leveled up. I do notice that it looks like Vanarel and Libby have not applied the 5th level boost yet, so make sure you go to the first page of your character sheet and click on where it says edit for your attributes. And am I missing anything else I see is missing?
That's the last thing I'm doing right now, actually.
And would we be doing shopping at that time also?
You can do shopping at this time. You can buy up to, I think I was going to say level 5 items here. It is a field camp, so you can't quite get to your level 6 items, but level 5 should cover the armor potency rune, which I think is the most important thing that you were worried about.
Yeah, that's what. And during that time, he leaves his armor then with the camp crafter there to get a potency rune put into his half plate.
Okay.
So there'll be 160, and then the cost for the app applying it.
Yep, 10%.
Might do a bit more shopping. I'm gonna look at if there's items that make sense for me.
It looks like Vanarel's also missing 1 skill feat. Libbiel might be missing 1 language. Party just finished leveling up from level 4 to level 6, and they've been enlisted, they've been contracted to help assist the Pathfinders on their current expedition here for further insight into what is happening in these woods. So 2 weeks have passed, and 2 members of the society come to talk to you. You could tell there was an all hands meeting, but you as contractors were kind of left to your own side, and they're coming to treat with you individually. And the 2 people who are coming to talk to you, let me share their artwork. We have Eindo, who you've seen before, and the one you haven't seen before, a person by the name of Gorm. Let me get those tiled on the screen a little nicer over here. There we are. Gorm, Greathammer, and Eindo Klein. So Eindo, pulls up to the area that you've been camping at, and maybe looking around and sees Nat Quick curled up on the side, sees Bia maybe resting on top of Nat Quick, and the familiars just getting along, maybe sees some of the paperwork and mapping that Libbiel's been working on, and just sees that it's a bustle and it's a homey tent area, just like he'd see around his own campsite, but he knows this one is just slightly different. Thank you for agreeing to help us. As you know, our mission here has changed. When you discovered the evidence below in that cyclopean ruin of the demonic rituals tied to the demon lord Urkshul, and we think that has some connection to our leader's abduction. The other individual here, Gorm Greathammer, a dwarf bard of some kind, it looks like. Some say he might be a prince, is the rumors you've heard around camp, but he always seems to shrug those off. But he speaks up now. Given the dramatic effects we've seen, we believe there must be further sites in the region powering this ritual. We've organized 8 teams to work on different sections of the forest. I'd like to ask, well, we've already, I guess you could say, bought your assistance. I hope I can put it that way. That seems a little too crude for my liking, but I don't understand
hired us
mercenaries. You hired us. Thank you. Thank you. We have hired you to be one of these teams. We're sending you to the southeasternmost quadrant that we are, or not quadrant because we have 8 of these, but the southeasternmost portion. We have 2 base camps, each servicing 4 each, and so you'll be at our southern base camp doing the southeast quadrant. The base camp will have extra supplies, they will have scribes, they will have messengers to get back in touch with our camp here, they have a doctor. We're doing what we can, but we do need the teams to be relatively sufficient. The sectors we're sending each of you to are fairly large. And we don't know how much you would find. Our intuition says if you find anything between 1 and 3 nexus points, that's about what we would expect to see. If you find many more than that, make sure you communicate it back to us, because that means our other teams need to know that knowledge. If you don't find anything, please keep looking. If you think you've been exhausted and you've checked everywhere, you can report that back as well, and maybe the section is less important. But we would expect between 2 and 3 major ritual sites. And if you find them, please attempt to disable them. If they prove beyond your ability to disable, document where they are, and we will follow up later. And then Eindo speaks up again. The mission is to find and disrupt them. There'll be plenty of times for a more thorough cartographic mission. You don't need to map everywhere. You don't need to, turn over every last leaf. These ritual sites, we believe they would be affecting the weather and the nature around them. Fire, water, air, all seems to have some connection to Urkshul. Earth, much less. Any other questions about this mission?
None from me. Any of you have anything else? Sounds fairly self-explanatory.
So we're just going to find these sites and document them, or
Find
Disable.
them and disrupt them. Disable.
Okay.
Whatever you can do. If you can't disable, if they prove too challenging, that's when you document.
Libbiel, okay, got it. Libbiel, I know, is good at the dispelling of magic, so maybe that might make sense to do. I'll have to look into that as well.
I should be able to handle it.
I would expect the area you've been assigned to take about 2 weeks to journey from one side to the other, and maybe about a week to go north to south. So expect a decently long expedition. We will give you a riding horse with a pack mule with 40 days worth of rations each. So we were giving you 160 days worth of rations. We are giving you some tents and 4 bird feather tokens you can use to report your findings as needed. Please always reserve 1 to call for help if needed.
I'll take spells to help us with travel, I guess. I might also be trying to take are you gonna take some high-level dispels, it sounds like, Libby?
Yes. I will prepare a higher level spell.
Okay. I might do 1, but yeah.
I'm taking the cozy cabin. I don't want to sleep on the ground.
It'll be a long trek. That'll help a lot.
Yeah, I'll take Wanderer's Guide to help us journey safer through these areas too.
Let me share the Hexploration rules that they gave me for this. That I might simplify it, but we do have some rules here. So here you go. So the first thing to figure out is the slowest person in the party, I believe, is Daegron at a speed of 20, correct?
Yep, 20 with my armor.
You'll be getting 1 activity per day for the party.
Do we have horses that we could pick up here?
You could get horses here. Yes, you could buy riding horses if you want.
I mean, that might make sense.
Let me
We
look up.
we'll need more supplies for it, but it would help us get through this a lot quicker.
Let's see. A riding horse.
My only concern would be is the terrain will be on. How dense will it be?
So riding horses would be 8 gold pieces if you wanted to buy them. I just looked that up for you. The terrain here, we expect it to be mostly forest. There might be some hills.
That seems pretty reasonable for a horse, I'm guessing.
Yeah, if it's not anything too crazy, then yeah. I just wanted to make sure we weren't dealing with a very dense or really hilly area where we'd have to kind of stash them half the time, and it'll almost be to our detriment. But I think that would be. I've got gold for a horse.
Okay, so let's see.
Would not mind a mount either.
So if everyone's buying a horse, it
Yeah.
sounds like. Horses
I'll have a
40.
speed of 35, so I should be okay, I think, with that. So.
35 to 40 is the same. So okay, so we'll be at 2 activities per day. And that is good because traveling through difficult terrain, such as forest or hills, requires 2 activities. So you can move 1 hex per day. If you want to fully explore a hex, that also is 2 activities. So
We won't have
good.
difficult terrain with Wanderer's Guide, I believe.
okay, so you can move 2 hexes per day then, or 1 hex and move 1 hex and search the whole hex.
So the 2 will work out then. We basically have 2 actions a day to deal with what we want to do.
2 actions per day and ignore the difficult terrain. So yeah, that's going to be very efficient. And there were some special adjustments I mentioned down here. While you're in forest hexes, you can try to find, this might not matter as much given how fast you are, because at the level you got, it won't make as much of a difference. But
I don't think I can make that DC 220 survival check, though.
it's 22, sorry. No, sorry, 20. Looks like.
Yeah.
Let me edit that. I
I
was...
mean, if we roll high enough.
Where is that? There it is. It should be 20.
I mean, sounds like a skill issue.
There we go. It's fixed. So in
It
forest ways...
disappeared?
What?
And did
Oh,
everybody
that's weird.
else still see it?
I must have to reshare it after I edit it. There it goes.
There we go.
So yeah, in forests, you can try to find game trails, which makes it faster to move. And in hills, you can find vantage points, which make it faster to search. But it sounds like that really won't matter as much, given that you're already fast enough with your horses and no difficult terrain by using a spell every day. So I don't think those special rules necessarily will matter to you as much. They also, the centaurs that they've made friends with in this region here would have had a little bit of information for you that can pass along. Let me just get that. The contact in the local centaur tribe mentioned a strange campsite along the river to the east of here. We don't know if it's at all related to the ritual or not. It did not sound like a ritual site, but there was a campsite to the east. Other than that, we don't know what you should expect.
And I guess just generally, what's the boundaries of where how far south and east? Sorry if I missed this.
So 12, 24, 36, roughly 48 miles south, roughly 108 miles east.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that sounds like the horses were
that's a
good.
If I
pretty
zoom
big
out
area.
on the map,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't tell on the map. If you see any harsh lines, that means you're going beyond the realm of your assigned area. So you'll be able to see hard straight lines of a rectilinear map at some point, and that will tell you you're at a boundary. Other than that, though,
Good.
it's kind of free form. So you'd spent the 2 weeks back at the base camp. It took about another 2 weeks to get to this southern camp that they have you based out of. So you've been maybe a month now here, and you haven't had any demon attacks. So it does seem like the chest is working to some degree.
speaking of the chest, I would like to expend a third level slot to make the disguise of it kind of more permanent, make it look like a really worn down chest, like it's nothing very important.
Sure.
Um, that's an unlimited duration. I'd like to have that happen
Can
a
you
little earlier.
can you link it to me
Yeah.
just so I can read
Let me
it?
just got to pull up the spell preparation because I didn't even bother.
So let's see. Hide into 3. Duration is unlimited. It looked like this. Yeah. Okay.
And
So yeah,
I
you've done
got
it one of these
third.
days beforehand. It's been done. It's permanent. You don't need to do it again unless it gets dispelled
Yes.
or
That way
or a creature
we
interacts with it. Yeah.
it kind of just looks like regular sort of like camping, some kind of camping gear.
Okay. So
Oh, and
where
you
would
said to the east was the river. Maybe we start by headed there and see what's going on.
Yeah, it seems like as good a direction ahead as any.
and just
I
and because the way this map is set up, so it is a hex map and it is a column or hex map. So when you say east or west, you always need to give a north or south flavor to that. You might be able to tell that on the map
Let's,
right now, as you can kind of see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Southeast probably makes the most sense, and then we'll just go northeast, southeast.
Okay.
Yeah, works with me.
So that's one day of travel. The Brusuvi pines are thick and well grown in this area, outcompeting all the other trees. They rustle as if a stiff wind were blowing, but the air is still. The smell of smoke is strong, and you can see smoke billowing from the southeast. The land also becomes more rugged in that direction, though, and you think there might be more broken terrain and difficult travels ahead in that direction.
For reference, that's the spell I just threw it out there. I think you're familiar with it, Faenliss, but I figured I'd put it up.
Mm-hmm. So that was one
Um,
day.
So there's smoke to the southeast, but we think this place, the river thing, is directly to the east, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do we want to go east and then turn south afterwards to figure out what's going on with the smoke, or
I think that's a good idea. We don't have anything to latch onto yet. We should follow something that is obvious.
Besides, we really want to stop anyone burning these trees.
oh, I'm sorry. Then do you
exactly.
want to go southeast rather than to the river? It sounds like, or like southeast rather than northeast, because we think something interesting is there.
I think that, especially with what we know about fire and these trees, it might be a good idea to move there a little quicker.
Fair point.
So southeast is what I'm hearing. So for day 2, you head southeast, and as you travel, you see a sharp, steep ridge blocking the way. Thick vegetation borders the ridge, requiring several days of backtracking to go around it. You have to work together to get your party, along with your pack animals and all the supplies, up to the top of this embankment. This is
How
usually
high is it?
Looks like about maybe 50 feet. This can be athletics checks. This can be crafting or engineering lore. This could be acrobatics or survival or scouting lore to find a way of bypassing it. Helpful steps. You call forth a ladder or staircase to help you reach greater heights.
It goes 40 feet.
Yeah.
So if this helps us, I would obviously do a staircase for the animals. And then we can figure out once we get to the top how we go the rest.
Yeah, if it's climbing and assisting in that, Daegron is proficient in that, and especially he picked up athletic might. When he rolls athletics on checks to climb or swim, he can get critical successes instead.
Okay. Yeah. Let's have
Oh.
once. I'll call helpful steps a critical success in this case. So it's going to count for 2. And Daegron's going to try some climbing
That's
to
my
help.
activity, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so out of plus 14 here, that is a 21.
21 will be. That is not a success.
Okay, he's gonna re-roll it to
Okay.
help. I think he wants to get towards this fire as quick as he can. There we go.
That is a critical
Nat 20
success, so
on
that
it.
is enough for the whole party to have gotten through there. Between the staircase, Daegron, you probably were more helping push some of the horses up the stairs. They
I think
didn't
he
really like
was
going upstairs, but that's what
Yeah,
you were
he was
helping with.
facilitating the getting everyone onto those stairs and across those 10 feet, maybe up the last bit. He was hauling everyone up.
So you spent 2 days traveling. You're making really good time, and you can tell ahead of you, both to the south and the southeast, there is a very, very large forest fire burning. You see thick smoke rising in the air. It's an oily black smoke you can see from this distance.
Do we think we can navigate through this to maybe figure out we're not going to be able to put it out ourselves, but something must have started this. Or should we go around it?
If we can find the source of what started this, that will obviously be a good idea. But if it gets to a point where we're cooking ourselves, like, we should not continue forward if it's that bad.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think we don't sacrifice ourselves into it, but we should maybe either go the perimeter and see if we can find what caused it, or if we can probe in any safe way, try to do that.
So, what is the decision?
Should we try to go southeast and see if we can't get through without burning? And if it's unsafe, we'll just head back and maybe waste a day. But that's what it is.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Everyone give me a fortitude check to deal with the traversing of the fire and the thick smoke and even with stuff over your face and wet cloths. It is a horrible experience in here.
If that's a
Do you
fail,
think
I will
the-
use halfling luck.
You think the mystic armor bonus would help, or
The reflex, I mean, it helps on all saves, right?
yeah?
So it should apply here, yes. Everyone has made the save. So you are not fatigued from working on the smoke for this day. And it does seem like as you can see, you can see the hint of the river now to your northeast. You can see what feels like a rockier, more burnt out area directly south, and similar forest fires to your southeast and southwest.
I mean, if it's all burnt out, it's the older area. Maybe we go south first.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I
a
was
good
thinking
idea. At the
that's
very
okay.
least, we can see if something there caused it and spread, or if anything, we can observe the surrounding areas.
So
I like
1,
the
2,
logic.
3. So that's 4 days. Give me another fort save, everyone. Everything looks good. Everyone is good. No one is having any problems whatsoever with the smoke.
I
Shielded
think by this point, I've still fastened up like something similar to what Daegron had underground.
Mhm.
Little smoke mask.
Shielded from the heat by rocks on either side, you find a narrow ravine. Let me put you on a map, actually. Shielded from the heat by rocks on either side, this narrow ravine winds close to the column of black rolling smoke that stands out against the paler gray smoke of the forest fire. Rough natural stairs lead beyond either side of the large boulders to higher ground just beyond. Just visible beyond the rock, the source of the foul column is a small stone monolith wreathed in flames and covered in glowing runes. And that looks something like... Oh, wrong button. A, stone, kind of spherical rock up on almost multiple tripod legs, covered in red glowing runes. And that is right here on the map.
That certainly seems like one of the things we're looking for. Should we try to see if we can get rid of it?
And just a couple of rules here before we start moving anywhere, because we will begin to initiative almost guaranteed pretty quickly. I just want you to know what's going on. So the terrain, if you're not going up the stairs, so the stairs are difficult terrain, like here and here. These rocks are 15 feet tall if you want to climb them directly without going up the stairs, if that, for whatever reason. The fire is definitely burning very strongly. And if you start your turn in a square with fire or on the rock with the monolith, you will be taking some fire damage. You can just tell that.
I do have a point of
Okay.
just like a question about the fire itself.
Mm-hmm.
Would this fire that's on the ground count as magical fire, or is it non-magical
This fire is mainly the trees burning and boughs from the trees that have fallen. So it is both in the air and on the ground. And sorry, so what was your question? Sorry. I don't think I answered
I'm
your
mainly
question.
asking if it's a non-magical fire, I can use spells to extinguish it, but if it's a magical fire, I cannot.
I
So
would
just would
say,
like
due to the Brutoshivi pine resin and the magical effects here, it could put an area out for maybe a round or two, but it will probably come back pretty fast.
Okay.
Maybe we save that for the little space between that and the idol up there.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask because
Yeah.
of, well, the gust of wind spell.
Oh,
No,
fair
it
point.
definitely makes sense. It's definitely usable here, but you can tell it's a short-term remedy, not a put the fire out completely remedy. And I'm going to
Understand.
change that font size because that is a little too big on this map. Let's go back down.
I'm assuming we're going to start moving forward, in our normal formation here with Daegron and Vanarel up front, and we'll be just behind.
Yep. And I think this is actually about the right place to roll initiative anyway, so let me roll you all in. Because actions will start mattering now. So go ahead and roll yourself some initiative. And the other things that you're seeing here, there is a creature standing by the rock. Looks something like that. A roughly humanoidal shaped being made of fire. The legs, though, are kind of blended together into more of a tornado and less of a true legs. Almost mermaid-like without the mermaid tail. And a kind of spiked helm-looking face made out of fire. And then further back from them are two what looks like smoky fires that have eyes of embers that stay fixed inside the smoke cloud. And up first, it looks like is going to be Dezi.
I'm going to do that thing where I run ahead, probably.
Whoops, that's the wrong.
So I think in that last one's a difficult terrain, so that'd be 35 feet. That's as far as I get.
Mm-hmm.
I see those things in front of us. Let me do. That was a move. Let's cast a shield spell because these things look bad, and I'm going to use my new ability, Scholarly Recollection, to roll Recall Knowledge on, let's say, the thing in front, the fire type thing, and I get advantage on this basically.
Okay.
I roll twice and take the better. Just going to do that. I'll try to program it later, but.
Yes, this is something known as a corrupted wildfire. It is a fire elemental that is imbued with abyssal energies, and it is a normally raging, uncontrolled thing. That was a critical success. I'll give you 2 questions. What would you like to know about them?
I guess strengths, weaknesses, and special abilities, if those are relevant.
So the weaknesses would be weak. They are weak to cold, as you probably would expect. The special abilities. The main one that you've heard of them doing is that they are made up of this burning sap. Possibly, this might almost be a custom thing to this region, and they can expel that sap in a 10-foot emanation around them. That will provide concealment to all creatures and deal poison creatures to everyone who enters the region.
Okay, I would definitely let everybody know about this. But that concludes my turn, I believe.
Okay. Up next is one of the small guys in back, who is going to... What's it want to do to you? It's going to fly 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Or not fly. It looks like it's flying, but it's hovering above the ground, and it is using ground movement. So it's strode twice to get there, and then it is going to shoot a ball of embers at Dezi. It's pretty long range. It looks like this is not going to be particularly accurate, but it's still going to take a try. And it manages to hit you. The ember, it lofted big. It looked like a nice huge arcing thing. You thought it was going to land a little short, but maybe a gust of wind caught it at the last second and helped lift it just the rest of the way to you. And you will be taking 4 points of damage. And some persistent fire, it looks like. Yes. And that would be its turn.
Hey, Daegron, if you give me a second to hit you with a spell real fast, I think I can help you get up there.
Yep. He'll delay then for
Okay.
waiting for Libbiel.
Libbiel?
I cast haste on Daegron.
Ooh, very
Who has
nice.
the slowest move speed as of all. So here, have a free stride every turn.
And
I'll
you-
take it.
And you have one action left, Libby?
Libby's going to move up her. I think she's got 30 feet. No, 40 feet of movement. So that's 15 left. There we go.
Daegron.
All right. You said these stairs were going to be difficult terrain,
Difficult
right? To move
terrain.
up?
Yes.
Okay. So we've got 20 feet to use here. So for the first one, 5.
And I am assuming the
10,
horses were
20.
dismounted and tied off somewhere off screen.
Yeah. And then, so his first action, stride 20, and then he can go 2 squares here for his second action. And let's see, how far away are we here? 45 feet. So he has 2 more to use. 10. I think with a sudden charge, he can get there with 2 move actions. I believe, yep, that's just enough to put him
I don't
right
think
here.
it is because it's difficult
Yeah,
terrain.
Is it?
difficult terrain. Yeah, you got 2 more squares
Is
of
it
difficult
here?
terrain, right?
Oh, because it's stepping out
Yeah.
of it, not into it. Yes, correct. So I'd be 1 away from it.
Yeah, maybe just bring up your scale. Yeah, I think it's pretty far right now. Up to you though.
Yeah, no, then there's no way to get there. So he'll get to the top and start to form at least a line here, get his defensive parry up, and then actually no, because with that sudden charge, that's 2. So even then he can only get 5, 10 there, and he'll have to defend his dueling parry and get the rest of the way next turn.
Okay. Up next, the wildfire begins coming towards you. It's fast. Compared to those other guys, this thing, it seems like it's just so fleet. And it's going to move to there. And then it is going to erupt in this emanation. And so you are now, it is now concealed. Let me put that on. You are now concealed as well, but it might be able to see through this concealment, but I'll put it on in case it might matter for your friends trying to heal you.
Yep.
And to any creature that enters or begins its turn in the cloud. You did not enter or begin I believe when auras pop up around you, they wait until you've had a chance to react. So no effect to you yet for being in it, but when you start your turn, it will matter. So that was its turn. Vanarel.
All right. Well, Vanarel's gonna catch up to everybody else and see what's happening here. First action gets me right at like the base of the stairs here. Then the second, climbing up this thing ever so slowly, will get me here, and then third, I will. Well, the closest thing next to Daegron is a whirling guy made of flames, so I will select him as my hunted prey for action 3. But that's all I can get to with these stairs in the way.
Okay.
I think you need a flat check for the. Oh no, you can hear it. I think.
Yeah,
I've just targeted.
What does it say for hunted prey to know exactly if you need to target them, you'd have to do a concealment check.
Let me just toss the whole thing out here. Where's my? All right, it's not in the feats thing. It's this one, the class abilities. That's the wrong button. There we go.
I think
I
it's worded
focused
to-
my attention on them.
I think it's worded so it's see or hear.
Yeah,
So-
it doesn't.
Distant designate. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't
Focus my
feel like it
attention on single
requires
keyword.
targeting. It's carefully avoided that keyword. So you've hunted.
I mean,
prey.
I'm happy to roll if you think it applies.
No, it's
but,
fine.
That's my. Okay.
I mean, since you can hunt prey even on tracks of something without seeing them
Mhm.
directly, yeah, this seems totally fine. Up next would be the monolith, which does nothing, and then the other fire in the back, and it is going to move towards you all. Let me get out of this mode. One move. Two moves. And it doesn't seem to care about the smoke that it's sitting in. And so it is going to spit something at Daegron right there in front. And miss. By a lot.
Oh yeah, the AC has gone up.
Beginning of round 2, Dezi.
Okay, I've been waiting forever for this. I will cast True Strike. Sorry, Sure Strike. And I will cast Moonlit Ray to fire a ray at that fire elemental thing. Abyssal fire element.
Okay. So make sure you drag the Sure Strike ability to yourself. You get to ignore the concealed check. That's awesome. And let's see what this ability does.
It is the
Moonlight-
cold damage version of Holy Light.
Of Searing Light?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So 5 and 15. So 15 is a better roll, so that is a hit. You don't need to roll the concealed check. So go ahead and roll successful
Okay, this
damage.
does the right thing. Oh, that did not do the entire right thing because I need 5d6 more.
It does not have the unholy trait.
It doesn't have the unholy trait. Okay,
So,
fair enough. You said it was abyssal, so I wasn't sure.
It's abyssal themed, but it did not have evil or unholy. This is a legacy creature, but it does
I
not
will
have.
still take 15 cold damage to the thing, which
Yep.
will presumably make it angry.
Whoops. Nope. You don't take the damage. I pressed the wrong button. I'm sorry. Yeah. The curious corrupted wildfire, not wildflower, took some extra damage there. One of the filth fires is up next. Oh, and Dezi is taking your persistent fire, but you healed. You snapped out of it. This one is going to move. One move to there. And it's sitting inside. No, actually, one move to there. It wants to be all the way inside the aura. And then it will spit at... It saw Dezi do cold damage. It doesn't like Dezi, so it's going to shoot at Dezi. That makes sense to me.
Doesn't make sense to me.
It will hit you again. For minimum damage. And it will then, has one action left, it will shoot at Vanarel as well, trying to spread out the persistent damage.
That's if it's the share.
Yes, Libbiel, you should take off the enfeebled. The chest got rid of that. Libbiel, you are next.
Okay, let's see how I can help with my party's damage. I think my best bet is just to, I'm going to target one of the filthy boys and hit him with a force barrage.
And let's see, does that also ignore concealment? I don't believe it does. You will need to give me a flat check on that.
Oh,
It requires targeting, yes.
I guess. The flat check, it would be the DC 11.
No, the DC 5.
Okay.
Okay, so all the missiles hit. You only need to target once. So how many missiles you were shooting? This was a rank 2. You're doing a 3-action one?
Yeah.
So just roll the damage 2 more times.
Also, I can't see any rolls. Is that supposed to be a thing?
I am seeing the rolls. Is anyone else seeing?
Your chat
I'm
gets stuck.
seeing them
Try
fine.
scrolling.
Yeah.
Sometimes the chat does get stuck unscrolled, so make sure you've scrolled to the bottom and
It's
re-engaged
scrolling.
it.
It's scrolling. It's just it doesn't have any rolls.
Oh, interesting, because I'm seeing them both on the GM screen and my player view of the GM.
I try
That's
refreshing
interesting.
after your turn there.
And Daegron is next.
Okay, so up close here. Well, we'll see if an axe does anything to him.
First, also now
he'll-
you're starting your turn inside the aura,
Yep.
so let's deal with that first. And
Oh, yeah, he's only going in, so he might as well do a check here.
so we will need a fortitude save.
Let's see how that goes. I'm pretty good at him.
That is a success. So that will basic fortitude, so you're taking half of this poison damage.
Okay.
So 2 points of poison. And
Okay,
nothing
and
else
then,
happens to you.
Good. Okay, so he will step in with his first action, targeting the big fire in front of him. He will let out a battle cry and see if it can be intimidated anyway. For his second action.
Yes. That looks like a critical success. Oh, you will need to roll the flat check to target him.
Oh, we'll have to target him. Okay, here we go.
Demoralize is a target.
3.
Yeah, so you're shouting, but you're probably like shouting over in this square by accident, and you know that would have been a great intimidate, but you can't tell where he is, and it loses all value when you're just yelling at it's like you're the old man yelling at the weather.
Now, am I able to still try to target him for an attack, or do I
Yes.
have to switch to something else?
Yep, you can.
So we'll just start. Then we'll go with some snagging strikes.
Yep,
on it here.
each target is independently rolled there.
So we'll just do this first, so I don't disappoint myself. Because the first one is a miss on targeting. Also,
Yep.
That was all of them, though. Oh, you're hasted, right?
Okay, so
Never
you have
mind.
one action left.
So
Yep.
we still got the full map. We'll just go for it. And this is on the third one
That's
here.
only yours.
Would
Oh, okay.
have been nice for the
crit.
But
It's not full map.
Oh,
We're
it
only
always
at half
goes.
map, right?
No, he's made.
I haven't even been able to target
He's
it.
made 2 strikes. No, he's made one strike. You made because the first flat check that failed was for the demoralized. That's not an attack action. The next one that failed was. So this is at the -5.
Does it go to -5 even if you can't target it on the
Yes.
attack?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll be at a +12 here for the attack.
And that will hit.
Still decent here.
Yeah.
So we do decent damage, 14 points of slashing.
Yeah, all of that seems to have been effective. And
then that's all his actions.
it is up next. It does not like you being right here. It is going to try to hit you. It's just going to punch you with its fist. And misses. And it's going to spend 2 actions to keep its cloud going. This does not have any traits, so it would not trigger anything. I was double checking that
Right.
for you, but it does have to spend 2 actions for it to make it last each round. So much worse than a bard only spending 1 action to keep a cool aura up. Vanarel.
Okay. Well, I gotta climb up these stairs a bunch more. So first action is only gonna get me here because of these annoying steps. Second action is just making sure I'm looking at the map correct. Like right here next to Daegron, that is a okay place to stand.
Yes.
That's not like a rock. Okay. Second action, I guess technically a stride in with the difficult terrain.
You have entered the area, so give me a fort save.
Yep.
I guess you technically entered it last turn. Those 3 squares on the plus side were. That is
Came away
a
with a 20.
fail. So you're taking
Alright.
this much poison damage, and you are sickened 1.
Oh,
You
lovely.
thought you could get away from the debuffs.
You know what? I just don't feel at home without them at this point. But not nearly as bad as what I was going through. And I'm going to get to this thing, and I'm going to, with my last action, sickened as I may be, I'm going to flurry on him. And these are 2 separate strikes in 1 action, so I think I have to
Target individually.
roll
Yep.
the flat check for each one. Okay, so there is the first one, which is going to do the trick, rolling a 13 there. Oops, let me not. Hang on, that's the wrong one.
Sheathing
Let
your...
me actually. Okay, second is already there, so let me swing at this guy. How's a 30 feel?
That will hit.
All right. So,
If you weren't sickened, that would have been a crit.
you know what? That's okay. I'm just happy to be actually striking consistently again. He can still have 18 points of hammer damage. And there is another one hopefully coming right behind it.
The flat check is a
Gonna make-
success. Yeah, way to
make
use up a
flat
nice
check.
low roll, but still high enough.
Well, efficiency. That's what's. Oh, that is the wrong button. That should have map on it. That should have -2 for a 30.
Okay, for a 30, that's another hit then.
Okay, so just regular damage to the fire guy.
You're really clobbering it.
Well, I'm feeling more myself all of a sudden. That, however, is all 3 because I had to spend 2 actions climbing up these stupid stairs.
Yep. I also, for the second hour, I gave a hero point to Daegron. And we're now over... I've already awarded that. You don't need to do any bookkeeping yourself, but just so you know it happened. Up next is the monolith. And I think you may be in range now.
No.
Hooray.
Yes. Daegron is in range. So it is going to... The description doesn't quite make sense, but it says a tree near you explodes, showering you with piercing and fire damage. So I guess maybe it's coming from here, but it still affects you as long as you're within this range of it. So I will need a reflex save from you. Oh, a 10-foot burst. So I also need this. I also need it from Vanarel and from 2 of them. They may be immune to some of this, but they're still in the aura.
Oh no! I'm going to go ahead and use a hero point and re-roll that. Natural 1.
So yeah, the current situation is Daegron has a success, Vanarel has a critical failure, the Filth Fire has a success, and the Wildfire has a critical success. We're waiting for Vanarel to re-roll. If Vanarel is, yep, there it goes.
Okay, yes, I am. Okay, well.
Vanarel keeps it as a failure now. At least it's no longer a crit fail. Here is the damage. And if you failed, you are also dazzled for 1 round. Not that that makes any difference when you're already inside the concealment area in some ways.
You're already just swinging anyway.
I'll still put concealed on you as well. And let's see, the one that took half, this one takes half. And half ended up being 2 because it doesn't take any of the fire damage. It only takes the piercing damage. And that was its turn. The final Filth Fire What does it want to do? I think it's going to... Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 25. So it's going to single move. This will provoke from Daegron.
All right, so that'll be a flat check first on the swing past it. As it goes by. Hey, we got the 5.
You got the 5. 5 or better is what you need.
And here is full. This will be nice.
Ooh, that is a crit.
33. For 24 points of slashing. And my critical specialization wouldn't have an effect at where it
Because
would.
nothing is next to it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It does a second move to move down next to Dezi, and is going to punch Dezi now.
Stop it.
It surprisingly listened to you. It doesn't actually hit you. Dezi, it is your turn. You have a
Libbiel.
fire elemental in your face.
I don't know if you can disrupt or dispel that thing that's exploding trees. I'll deal with these things, I guess. I will, my fox tattoo will glow, and I will life boost myself in this case. And I will fire. I'm going to try to hit the fire elemental, I think, with a regular bolt after that. So I need a flat check. I'll get the life boost going in just a second. It's not going to affect anything this turn, but I'll roll the attack on that thing. This is lower for me. I don't think it's that low.
Yep.
I'm not going to hero point it. So life boost myself, cast shield, and I missed with an arrow.
Okay. And you take some more persistent fire damage, and you end it right away again. You're doing well on that, at least. And you were checking if you would have hit if you're...
I was firing an arrow because I need to lose an arrow. But, you know.
Okay. Yep. Too bad it would have been a crit. Up next is the fire one close to Daegron, and it has now seen an AOO, so it is not going to try to get past Daegron and put pressure on other people. So it's going to lash out at you with a branch. That is going to hit Daegron. That was a 29 against your AC. Looks like your AC is 25.
Oh wait! Keen eyes. I need a flat check of 3 for concealed targets. I thought it was higher. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So that crit will hit. You can roll your damage. You can roll the critical damage.
Nice. I'll gladly take me being hit, interrupted for you to do a crit on something.
It is a different thing, so that hit is still going through to you, but... Is that dead? No, it is not dead. It is still up. It has some hit points. But so we've hit Vanarel for... Sorry, we've hit Daegron for a little bit of damage. Did that...
There
yes.
you go.
Dezi applied it not. That was why it was a problem. Got it. Okay. That was its first action. Its second action will be to hit you... Attempt to hit you... wait a second. It knows you have an AOO, a reactive strike. But you've not had a turn yet. It's not going to think you have 2 of them. So it is going to take the chance, and it is going to shoot at Libbiel. So second map, possibly with a little bit of range.
Is it making a ranged attack? Is my hunted prey making a ranged
No,
attack right in my face?
It's
not
this
that
one
one,
making a ranged
unfortunately.
attack.
Oh no!
But it missed.
Yeah.
It missed. And it has one
That-
action left. It is going to step back. Libbiel.
Libbiel, can she see this obelisk from here?
Yes. It's the fact that I was describing it from below the hill means it must be tall enough to be visible from where you are.
All right, then we're going to dispel magic. So here's my counteract
Okay, let's see. I need to fill in the macro for this now. That's a great question because they didn't assume you would be able to do that, but I think it makes sense, so I'm definitely going to allow it as an opportunity, so let me figure this out.
Take your time.
Counteract level, so you are using a level 3 spell,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it...
6, I believe. Is that right?
I think I put in 6 for the level here, is what I do. And I put the DC, there we go. And I think this is the correct. Yeah, I was pretty sure you're going to succeed on that. You only succeeded, you got it on the nose, but that is going to be 1 success against disabling it. So you see what looks like a third of the runes have been disabled on it.
Okay. I'll take success.
You have 1 action left.
I'm going to cast shield on myself.
Daegron.
I do not assume this will go unpunished.
All right, so I'm starting in the cloud. I take damage, I'm assuming.
You take another save. Let me link that for you. There you go. Did that I don't see that sent. There it is.
There we go.
That is
So
a
24.
save, so you'll take just half of the poison damage. So 2 points.
All right, so he's going to attempt to target this flame here. He succeeds, so he goes for a snagging strike on it.
Oh, yes. And you will...
Oh, that's going to do it.
You will critically hit it and just destroy it, pulling it to the ground. So snagging... You don't know what there was to snag. There's nothing physical about this, but it's not incorporeal.
Well, wasn't it like
either.
sap or something you said?
It has sap. It like ejects from itself. That's true.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he's cutting bits and hobbling it almost.
So roll your critical damage.
But then,
oh, that's right there.
So
Never
that'll.
mind.
Yep. So it's got 22 damage there.
So it is dead.
As it collapses, he's still in this smoke cloud. He's going to use his second action. Is this still 1 thing of difficult terrain?
I think you are out of the difficult terrain now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So either way, that there is 20 feet to get to that edge. And you know what? He's still going to be technically in it, but the creature is concealed anyway, even if he was out. So he's going to try to hit it anyway here. We'll go for the concealment check, and we get that, and we'll do another snagging strike with my 4th action. With my second map.
And that will miss.
20 to hit is going to miss. That'll be all 4.
Vanarel. Daegron, you take 4 more points of persistent fire, and you keep on burning.
Okay. Just kind of looking over at the fire smoke thing that Daegron is facing. Then looking over at the one that is on Dezi, I'm just going to...
And the smoke cloud goes away.
Oh, it does? Okay. I was about to ask about that, if I have to, breathe anything horrible in. So yeah, all this is still difficult terrain, so I guess I'm taking those extra big... Those big hops down.
I would say if you're moving along that edge, as you did the first step, that one would not be difficult. I don't think it matters for... You have to stride versus a step either way.
Right.
It's 1 move action, but moving along the step is not difficult, but going up and down in the mar.
All right. So I'll get to this point here on the other side of this Filth Fire thing, designating it as my hunted prey for the second action. And for the third, I'm going to try and bounce it off these large boulders. 2 hours left. Okay, this thing is not causing me to...
No flat check needed. I mean, to take...
Okay.
Oh, no, you were still dazzled for 1 round, though, so you still have that.
That's right.
You're no longer concealed. It's not concealed, but you have a different reason why it's hard for you.
But I'm concealed.
But you target it, no problem.
My eyes are concealed. Okay. So it will hopefully... I don't know if campfires can be caught off guard, but...
That's critically hit.
33. Oh, start with 36 points of damage to it. And then...
And it's knocked prone unless it makes a save, it looks like.
Oh, that's right. I have critical spec effect. Yes,
Is that
that's right.
always, or is that only against your hunted prey?
That's the hammer.
Okay, that's
That's
hammer.
the hammer's effect. Yep.
It failed, so it's prone.
Okay.
You've
so
knocked the bonfire over.
All right, but my eyes are still dazzled right now, so I still do need to make a DC 5 on this next attack, which I will make there, and then swing with the light hammer second time. 27.
27 to hit.
It.
Will hit for an additional 10 points of damage.
10 more.
And you have destroyed that one.
Thanks, Vanarel.
Hide them. Clean up
You
the
got it,
battlefield a little.
Dezi.
The monolith is up next. It's going to explode another tree next to Daegron. So I will need a reflex save from Daegron and from the elemental next to you.
Okay, 18.
18 is a fail, so you'll be taking full damage and you'll be dazzled now. I got the dazzle for you. There's the 14 damage. It's taking half. It only takes the piercing portion of that, though, and that was its whole turn. Dezi.
Dezi, Daegron looks like he's holding it there, so I think Dezi's actually going to use their Dispel Magic on the idol thing.
I think you
Mine's
will,
only second
you
level,
might need
so.
to step or stride a little bit to have a clearer line of sight, given that you're
sure.
hugging the cliff face.
So do you have the macro?
It looks like I've got a pretty clear line from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you grab the macro for it? That makes it easier.
Oh, sure.
I think if you press the counteract button, I might just do it. I don't remember. No,
that did something.
you have your
No,
version.
roll my counteract check. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make me do the thing, but
One might even be a critical at this point.
That's
So.
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
That's
Just changes the level at Dispel.
yeah. That's going to be a
so.
critical. It doesn't make it count as 2 successes though for this. So that is
No, that's fine.
one more. So you've had 2 of the 3 successes on it. It's
Okay.
almost destroyed.
I'm pretty fine with that.
Yep. We have 1 elemental left. One right here, and it has Daegron right where it can be targeted. So it's going to attack Daegron with a burning lash. And miss. It is going to 5-foot step away and target Dezi with an ember ball. And miss. Libbiel.
Okay, so do you want me to use the one that Dezi used?
Normally, I think the fancy macro you have is good. In this particular case, just rolling the counteract from that button is fine, because I don't have all the details for this one, so I'm kind of winging it anyways. But that's going to be a success. So it is disabled.
It cracks in half, I'm sure.
Let's see. Do I have any... What happens when you... it discharges its remaining energy as a fiery arc that soars through the sky, heading to the east-northeast. The fiery beam dissipates as the glow of the runes subside, leaving a cold, crumbling monolith devoid of any markings.
Towards the northeast. Interesting.
East,
Well done.
That might be towards the river.
east-northeast. So it's mostly
Yeah,
east, just a little bit north of that.
That's around where we think the river was. So yeah. I
Yeah,
think.
the campsite, yeah.
And that I'm just going to cast a shield on myself.
Okay. Daegron.
Right. He'll stride down 10 feet to get directly south of this bonfire, and he'll do his plot checks to target it. Got it. And then he'll go for the snagging strike.
And
So that'll
that is gonna
be
also
a
crit.
34 to crit. 18 points of damage.
Oh,
And then we'll...
1 second. I applied it to the dead guy who was on top
Oh.
there. There we go. I'll move the dead one somewhere else.
Okay, and then for the third action, we'll swing again at the second map.
Flat check. Or is that the attack
Yep,
roll?
so that'll be a 23 to hit, and then for the flat check, a 13.
Okay, that is still a hit.
Or 12 points of slashing, and then his last one, he'll why not? It's the one left. He'll just go for broke. He'll swing on his third map,
And that will
and
miss.
that'll be all.
Yep.
Broken.
Okay. Vanarel. As Daegron burns for a little bit more.
All right. Right. Climbing back up the giant stairs. Well, through the difficult terrain, so 20 of my movement to get to this point here. I will designate this guy as my latest hunted prey, and he's hidden in smoke. I guess he is smoke, so it makes sense. I would have to.
Oh, no, sorry. He is no longer concealed because that was due to the fog.
Yeah, I'm dazzled.
Yeah, Daegron ran was dazzled, so those rolls were correct. You're no longer dazzled, Vanarel. We can take that off of you.
Okay.
It was just for one round. Oh, I don't see it on you. Oh,
Yeah.
That's the light
Yep.
spell on you. Never mind. Yep.
All right. Well, I will target this guy as my hunted prey, and again, he's right next to a big boulder. It worked on the last guy. I'll bounce him right off of it there with my flurry.
That will crit. What a difference a double level up is making on you all.
You'd think.
And-
Well, I didn't. That's right. Yeah.
It's more like a quadruple level up for Vanarel there, but you know.
It is a change. I will say that. Second swing.
Will
Don't
miss.
think is going to do it. Only a 14 now. All right, that was me. Move up, new prey. Flurry.
Okay, Monolith is dead. Dezi. Your life boost is helping you. You're basically healed up almost.
Vanarel, did you do crit damage on that?
I rolled the regular damage, I think.
Oh, yes, you did. Let me.
Accidentally.
Do you have anything that happens only on a crit, or should I just apply double that?
There is
Nothing
also the
extra.
knockdown.
It's just the crits.
But the
Yeah.
double damage is enough to kill. And we are out
Okay.
of initiative then, it looks like.
Good,
Because,
I don't have to do anything. Thanks.
well, Vanarel, sorry, Daegron is still burning. So maybe we'll stay in until we stop the...
Sure.
So, Dezi, do you want to do anything to stop Daegron's burning?
I heal him lots, so I mean, probably not this turn, but I'll at least cast a second level heal on Daegron.
Okay, so you've done that. Libbiel has
Just for
has
the-
run up.
Just for the fun of it, I'm going to cast Gust of Wind on Daegron.
Stop, drop, and roll.
So yeah, we do need a fort save from you, Daegron, but this will put out the fire. And you have a
Easy.
success, so you can't move closer to Libbiel, but otherwise you're fine and the fire's out. So
I need to level up my heal too, but that's fine.
if we were still in the middle of a third hour hero point, actually I'm gonna do it anyways for carryover for next session. Libbiel is getting a hero point for that.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
I think
The
that,
blasted
spells
against the rock
are
face.
definitely worth it here, yeah.
yes.
How did that feel? Is it all right?
It was cooling. It was great.
Oh, okay.
So we are out
And
of initiative.
the other thing didn't make you too anxious. Didn't make your heart pump too hard.
Are the fires still here and intense? Can we investigate that pillar thing?
Sure. What do you want to do?
Get close, but not into the fire yet. And just kind of like look at it, try to figure out what it is, what it does, and how it works.
Sure. Give
I'll
me.
I'll spend 10 minutes refocusing first, and then I'm going to do the whole scholarly recollection thing to make this good. We're not in any huge time rush, I'm assuming.
I would like to look at it myself, and I'll
Yeah, I could
I'll drop.
take religion or arcana. Feel the most relevant,
Okay.
possibly primal, so nature.
I will give myself the discern secrets.
So let's
Just so that I have
see.
a little extra.
So Dezi, yours is roll twice and take the better, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You want to
here
guess what you
go.
rolled?
1 and a 20. Oh, no, 2 ones.
No, a
Oh,
1
darn
and a
it.
20. You did roll a 1 and a 20. I'm like, I see red and I see green.
magical effect, so I assume seer elf.
And
helps.
yes, Libbiel, you're also effectively going to be getting a critical success on this. So you and Dezi will know everything I can possibly tell you about this. The monolith, it looked like it was both creating the fire and channeling the fire back into the ground. So it does seem like it was trying to accelerate this charging of this fire energy into the ground to try to rip open a portal, it feels like. It does seem like you hadn't heard of this kind of thing happening before. The centaurs hadn't mentioned anything like this, so it feels like this monolith might have erupted out of the ground relatively recently. The rock it was on, though, doesn't show signs that that's what happened, but that's your best explanation for why no one had noticed it before. The centaurs are conscientious enough and superstitious enough that a rune-marked monolith would have raised some suspicion. So it must be a relatively recent emergence, but you can't explain the lack of a hole that it came out of or the rock face looking like it was ripped out of it. It looks like it just kind of materialized here. And you're guessing that that arc of energy was probably to the nearest ritual site that remains.
So sounds like we're going east northeast after this.
Yeah, it
Sounds
sounds
good
like
to
a
me.
good
I think
direction.
so. We have to chase down that demon energy, I guess.
I will spend some time to just like try to put out as much of this fire as possible. Without like really slowing us down, but like since we're taking a minute to lick our wounds, you know.
It's
Clear
fairly
an area to
difficult
camp.
here just because it is, you basically have to clear a complete patch of fire to have any hope of that area not reigniting.
I
And
do
this,
have 3 casts of gust of wind that go 60 feet.
so
So
I think that could probably get like this whole southeast quadrant put out, but there's still the question of a single ember that jumps from the other ones would probably reignite it, and that's why it's
yeah,
challenging to put out. It definitely could put out, that whole southeast quadrant temporarily, and
she realizes that it's probably futile, but it's worth trying.
Yeah.
You did what you could, but yeah, I think probably stopping the additional ritual sites is,
no,
it's
I
going
know
to be
Libbiel said
quicker.
it just wasn't slowing things down, but just trying it and
Oh, right,
making
understood.
an effort
Yeah.
to try to, if it's 3 casts of spells, that's 18 seconds. That's not taking any real time.
Oh no, yeah, I understood. Going beyond probably isn't worth it at this point, right? Like, but that's okay.
So we will go back
Yeah.
to the overland map. So you've been traveling 1, 2, 3, 4 days. And where would you like to go?
Northeast sounds like the thing, and then we head maybe northeast and then southeast. I don't know. East northeast sounds approximately that direction.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
no, that sounds like
that's still in a place that's burning with fire, so I will need fortitude saves from everyone. Someone did really
Each-
well. Dezi.
Each tile is a day, right?
Each tile is a day. So yeah, you get all your spells back. You can press the buttons.
so. At some point, I went behind a tree and took care of this sickened condition.
Yes. Oh yeah, that went away before you left that tile. Don't worry. Take that off before you roll this fortitude save.
Yep, that's oh no, still I'm blind. Well, whichever number that is.
Vanarel,
I was still behind the tree. That's why no one sees it.
Yep. Vanarel is fatigued. You're having a hard time dealing with all the smoke here. Is it just fatigued or is it worse on a crit fail?
I have to redo that. My bad. I messed up.
Just the same, yeah. So you are fatigued until you spend 24 hours resting in a hex that is not fire. So you need to spend a whole day not traveling to clear your fatigue at this point.
Sorry.
Libbiel is fine. Daegron,
Mine was 19.
you are also fatigued. So both of the marshals are currently fatigued until you spend a complete day resting outside of fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it sounds like you were going northeast again was the plan to get out of the fire?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
you're now on the river. You can see that the river is flowing from the northeast to the northwest of your tiles.
You want to take a day to rest here?
Give me perception checks as well. Okay, so it looks like everyone, you see lots of scratchings at about the 6 foot, maybe 7 foot mark on all the trees nearby here. There's some
Maybe we
sort of
should rest
large
here for a day.
clawed predator about this area.
I've revised my initial thoughts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we get through here quickly. This is clearly grounds
Yeah.
to something big.
So east, northeast. Yeah. So I guess we think it's on the river. So I think northeast still makes sense here because that's where the river goes. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's follow the river for now.
So you're following the river to the northeast is what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Okay,
Feels like it makes the most sense.
I'll move you there. Let's show the map. And I will put you on a new map while you are still fatigued.
Yep. Get that added in.
Loop. And activate. And I'll give you the box text here, the setup, and then we'll probably save that for next session. So, you've arrived at the swollen river here is overflowing its natural banks. So the river is rising up to about where you are. So the map here is a little misleading. It's not that little trickle of water. The water is filling this complete canyon. The swirling water rises and grows more violent with each surge before subsiding. So it's almost like a wave machine seems to be active at this location. The source of this flooding is obvious. Each pulse is flowing out of a short monolith that rises from atop a stony plinth hewn from a large boulder. Wreathed in flames, despite the driving rain and water swelling at the base, glowing runes cover the monolith's surface. And you also are hearing a cry for help coming from the bushes down here. It sounds like a young child is trapped amidst the flowing water. And we can do, what is your immediate reaction before I bring us out on a cliffhanger?
I hear somebody yelling for help. I'd probably start moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
We don't see the monolith from here? Sorry, I'm seeing it on the map, but I'm assuming it's out of vision.
The monolith is on a rocky plinth that's kind of above the level of the water, so you can see it. It's not submerged in the water, but it is 20 feet of swimming to get to the monolith. Of course, with all your dispel magics, that might not matter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Daegron will move forward with Dezi and says, quickly, but be cautious. Last time we came to help someone, it turned out to be some sort of trick.
That's right, that canoe. Yeah, I guess we should be careful.
He still wants to help, so he's going to go towards it.
The spell magic has a very far range, so I can start casting from once we get close. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that thing's causing the surges in magic, but I'm definitely going to start dispelling it.
Yeah, Daegron will move to investigate that sound to see if there is anyone who actually needs help.
Yep. As far as you've moved so far, there's been no change other than more cries for help. Nothing yet.
Yeah.
And right there, we will pause as the monolith sends some energy at you. As initiative breaks out with an intent from Dezi to cast Dispel Magic and an intent from the monolith to launch some energy at Daegron. I hope you've all enjoyed this game, and thank you all for tuning in.